welcome to episode 10 of Missle Industries ZX10R train wreck build. Now, on this episode, the plan is to get the bike a roadworthy inspection. But before I do that, I just took delivery of this overflow bottle off eBay. As we can see, this existing tank is munted, has a hole in it, and the top tap for the overflow tank is actually missing. So that's why I'm putting this one that's in good nick onto my bike. As you can see now, the radiator overflow bottle has been installed, and if I step back, you'll notice that my black and white bike is now a green black and white bike. Now, the reason for that is I had to rearrange all my wiring up around the steering head to make sure that it didn't interfere with the steering. That took a lot longer than I thought, and the Chinese fairings that this bike came with came on and off one too many times, and all the eyelets along here broke. So I've peeled these fairings off my track bike and fitted them onto this bike, because it obviously needs to have a complete set of fairings to be roadworthy. And so this is what it looks like now, and I gotta say I don't mind it. Another thing I had a snoop at is the VIN plate was covered in paint, so I took some solvent to that and cleared all the paint off. And this was what it revealed. Someone's gone over it with an orbital sander, and it is now illegible. So that is stuffed. So the VIN plate is going to be thrown in the bin, and it's going to go without a VIN plate. That might be a red flag to some people, but as long as the chassis number is on the vehicle, that's all that really matters. The VIN plate just gives you year of manufacture and all those nice details. So the number's still on the frame, and that's what we used as a reference point for the roadworthy inspection. The VIN plate is there to give them manufacturing dates and stuff like that, but the paperwork can verify when the bike was made, and it should still be okay. Now today I'm going to ride this bike for its roadworthy inspection, and then I'm going to go to Queensland Transport and then get the bike registered. All things going to plan, but first things first, I'm going to take it for a quick ride around the block to make sure it doesn't boil its head off. I should probably add that I do have a permit. Here I am back from Queensland Transport, and good news, my train wreck ZX10R is roadworthy and registered. It's even dual seat regoed. So how good is that? 2 months from train wreck to roadworthy registered going concern. Now, do I have any bolts to attach my new number plate to my recently roadworthy train wreck ZX10? Let's find out. Those look worthy. Oop. Nice wide cap head bolt would be good, because I have had number plates tear themselves off at sensible open road speeds before because the head of the bolt was too small. All it left behind was two neat little circles of reflective number plate, and that was it. Don't know where the plate went. I never saw it again. Alright, I reckon that'll do. Alright, here we are at the end of episode 10 of Missle Industries' Kawasaki ZX10 train wreck build, and the bike is roadworthy. The bike got registration today, it's got a plate on the back of it now, and I can ride it around everywhere. And the roadworthy took a bit of effort to get because there was only one guy at the shop at the time, and he had to do the roadworthy inspection and handle all the other customers. It was alright because we all stood around talking about motorcycles as you do, and if it took a couple of hours, it took a couple of hours, but got there in the end, and then it was just a case of getting it to Queensland Transport. I was a bit concerned about the missing VIN plate, but the mechanic didn't seem too concerned about it. He wrote no VIN all over the roadworthy certificate, and Queensland Transport didn't bat an eyelid about it. I mean, I had my paperwork in order, and that was that. I paid my stamp duty, I paid for my rego, and I got my plate, and I left, and that was it. So, looking at the state of the bike, passed the roadworthy fine. I was paranoid that it was going to start leaking oil from the tapper cover gasket, because these bikes are prone to leak oil from the tapper cover gaskets if they've sat for a long time, and this bike has sat for a long time. But it never happened. It didn't drip any oil on the floor of the mechanic's workshop. Hasn't dripped any oil since, so that's good. One final note, this isn't the end of this build series. Much like the Ford, once it gets rego, it's really only the beginning of the journey, because once you start getting out there on the road, you figure out what else it needs, and this bike, like most of my toys, will be a work in progress, and it will slowly evolve as time goes on. So, does anybody want to buy a ZX10R? Although I suspect by the time this video airs, that bike will be gone, because it's already advertised.